Good day, it's JJ MMA. Today we're going to be recapping the absolute apex slop that we all had to witness. Yes, we sat through a stream and witnessed last night. This was honestly a way worse card than I thought. There were only 2 finishes on the card, 1 TKO that we'll talk about later, another submission that we'll talk about later in the card. We're going to start off with the early prelims, ending with the main event. And our first fight that we're going to look at here is Alencar versus Julia Polastri. And, this fight, this was a nothing burger, I wasn't even on stream for this one, but I did watch it, and Alencar got it done. I predicted it. Good underdog pick by me. I think we went 7-for-6. We went 7-6 on picks for this card. So positive record on picks. We did a little bit. We did okay when we got to the main card, but a lot of our prelims picks were correct. So Alencar gets it done. Okay, we move on. This was a pick that I got wrong. Max Griffin versus Victor Valenzuela. Max Griffin, DC made it sound like on commentary that Max Griffin was winning. Like, you would have thought if you were to just listen to DC's commentary that Max Griffin was dominating the fight, and he wasn't. He wasn't dominating the fight. I thought he was going to win. He did catch Victor Valenzuela at times. Victor Valenzuela isn't a very good welterweight. I don't ever see him being ranked with what he showed against Max Griffin. Max Griffin's kind of a guy that if you're legit, you have to dispose of him. And I didn't think Victor Valenzuela was legit. So that's why I picked Max Griffin, but it looks like Max Griffin was just a little bit more washed than I thought. So, you look at the strike numbers right here, 43 to 53 total strikes, 40 to 53 on significant strikes. Both guys really weren't that active. 4 takedowns for Max Griffin. Max Griffin was out-wrestling Victor Valenzuela. The deeper Valenzuela goes in the UFC, I think the more that wrestling defense, the grappling defense, it'll be exposed. He goes against a guy who's a good wrestler and a good BJJ artist. I think he will get submitted, taken down easily, body lock, tripped, anything like that. Victor Valenzuela was kind of getting dominated in the grappling, to be honest. He did mix in a takedown of his own, as you can see right here, but oh gosh. Yeah, other than that, really a nothing burger performance from both guys. I watched this fight, and Victor Valenzuela won, no robbery here. It was a 29-28 decision. I agree with that. We move on. Francis Marshall versus Lucas Brennan. Now, I would have thought that Francis Marshall was going to dispose of this guy, but it turns out Lucas Brennan's a little bit harder to dispose of than I thought he was going to be. Francis Marshall still masterclassed him. As you can see, strike numbers, absolutely dominated him here. 2 out of 3 takedowns. Significant strikes, 33-9 the whole fight. So this was also a very boring fight. Good job UFC for adding this one. Really added some substance to the card here. It looks like it's not gonna show control time numbers, but Francis Marshall, even though Lucas Brennan did get a sub attempt here, Francis Marshall pretty much had all the control time, dominated this fight. Francis Marshall, he's a legit prospect. I don't know if we'll ever see him ranked, but, he looks good right now against the guys that they put him against. But what I'll tell you right now is Lucas Brennan, he's not very good right here. Maybe give him another chance in the UFC. If he loses, you cut him. Francis Marshall gets the win as we predicted. We move on. Now this is one, okay, I better take back all my slander of Cody Durden, because because I really slandered Cody Durden in my predictions video, and he got the win. He dominated Rafael Filho. I don't know how you lose to 2026 Cody Durden, but Rafael Filho pulled it out. You see the strike numbers right here, 50-91. A lot of these strikes were kind of just like milking the cow strikes from Cody Durden, just really little, back fist strikes. It looked like sub attempts, 1 sub attempt for Cody Durden. Significant strike numbers, 23-34. It's accurate. Cody Durden dominated Rafael Filho in the wrestling, which I did not expect. I thought Rafael Filho was going to take down Cody Durden and submit him, but I noticed Cody Durden has the I didn't notice this before. He has the USA Wrestling tattoo on his back, and I thought it was as he walked out. I thought it was kind of going to be like the Tai Tuivasa Jiu-Jitsu tattoo, like something that just doesn't correlate at all with Cody Durden's fight style. But Cody Durden, he did show really good wrestling. 5 out of 5 takedowns, 100% takedown accuracy. He dominated Rafael Filho. He did. This was closer to a 30-27 Durden than 29-28 Rafael Filho. This was just Cody Durden dominated him. And I didn't think that was going to happen at all. Cody Durden gets the win. So that's another fight we got wrong in the card. This was the card of the crafty vets, except for Max Griffin, which was the only crafty vet that I picked. I'm pretty sure. This was the card of the crafty vets, and Cody Durden got it done. Another one for the crafty vets here. We move on. Mayra Bueno Silva versus Michelle Montague. Mayra Bueno Silva. You light my fire. I feel alive. Just get her out of the UFC, man. Come on, we gotta have some standards here. 5-fight losing streak for Mayra Bueno Silva. Michelle Montague gets the win. Total domination here. Total domination. This was actually total domination for Michelle Montague. There were moments on the feet where Mayra Bueno Silva was winning. Michelle Montague looked very rigid and uptight on the feet. Just really here. It would be like if Kayla Harrison fought how she looked. Those who know will know what I'm talking about. If Kayla Harrison fought with that brute, strong woman type of style, if she fought how she looked, that's how Michelle Montague fights. Just very uptight and rigid, and her high guard is almost here, at her ears. She looked okay on the feet still. Didn't look as bad as some women's bantamweights. But, Michelle Montague is ranked material. Mayra Bueno Silva, get her out of the UFC. And we move on. Performance of the night here for Jackson McVey. This is not a performance of the night type of performance here. But, we got this one. We got this one wrong, too. Cedricus Dumas. Come on, man. I thought there would be a little more resistance from him here now that it would be his last shot in the UFC. 3 of 4 on significant strikes. He just submissively backed up and got knocked down the whole fight. Total domination by Jackson McVey. Jackson McVey saves his career in the UFC. That's cool to see. Submitted him with a nasty Darce choke. This is one of the two finishes on the card, by the way. Out of 13 fights, we only have 2 finishes. Come on. Come on, kid. What? What's the question? 2 finishes on the card? More Apex slop coming. All right. Cedricus Dumas. Horrible performance by Cedricus Dumas. I don't think he would not do anything in the PFL. I doubt there are any fighters that Cedricus Dumas could edge out a win against in the PFL. His wrestling looked horrible. He didn't attempt a takedown. He just pretty much shelled up. I said this in my prediction video, didn't I? I said that Cedricus Dumas, he fights very soy. He is a very soy fighter. He'll just kind of curl up into a ball when his opponent isn't trying. When his opponent is trying to attack him and fight him, he's gonna curl up into a ball and be submissive and be soy, So Jackson McVey, he went after it. Good performance by Jackson McVey. I don't think this was a performance of the night. Actually, it could be, considering it was a nasty Darce choke. One of the 2 finishes on the card. I understand, but Jackson McVey gets it done. We got this pick wrong. We move on. Rodolfo Vieira versus Eric McConico. Khalil Squarebush gets it done. Khalil Squarebush. This guy. Oh my gosh. Khalil Squarebush. You can't tell me this guy isn't a middleweight clone of Roundtree. This guy's he's a dehydrated Khalil Roundtree. I said this in my stream. Khalil Squarebush is what we're calling him from now on. He completely outstruck Rodolfo Vieira. He stuffed 11 of his 15 takedowns. Really good takedown defense from McConico. I didn't think he was UFC level. I was not familiar with Khalil Squarebush's game. We look at the round 1 numbers right here. I think Rodolfo Vieira probably won round 1, to be honest, but I mean, Squarebush did land the bigger strikes. So, I mean, yeah, outstruck him significant strikes by one here, but I think Rodolfo Vieira probably won round one. We get to round two. This one was pretty even. Squarebush hit him with a more significant of the significant strikes. I know it says 20-20 on significant strikes right here, but it's not very accurate. Round three, total domination by Squarebush, and yeah, I think 29-28 Squarebush, arguable 30-27. I actually think he round one. Oh my gosh, won round one as well. So yeah, Squarebush gets it done. 30-27. We got this pick wrong. Rodolfo Vieira. You light my fire. Rodolfo Vieira really never had a prime to begin with, so it's okay. We got this one wrong. Squarebush gets it done. New prospect in middleweight, I guess. Okay, we move on to the main card. This is deserving of a performance of the night right here. Ryan Spann with a brutal knockout in round two. Absolutely brutal here because Marcus Buchecha, he was trying to get his little finessey BJJ takedowns in round one, and he got one of them. He got one of them. Ryan Spann is no slouch on the ground. I knew Ryan Spann was going to be able to hold his own with Buchecha's grappling. So, round two when they were on the feet, Buchecha's absolutely horrible on the feet, no striking defense. And Ryan Spann exposed that. He could have done it earlier, but he just hit him with a three, and it clipped him. Left hook clipped him, and then a two down the middle, bang, puts him out cold. Marcus Buchecha gets put out cold from a two down the middle by Ryan Spann. We did predict that he was gonna knock out Buchecha on the feet, and what a snipe by me. The picks that I got right on this card, I'm pretty sure that I predicted all of them to go exactly how they went, except for Francis Marshall. So, really good striking performance here from Ryan Spann. Buchecha is absolutely clueless. He's a fish out of water on the feet. I do think that he probably won round one, though. I do think that he probably won round one, though. He did more of the finesse stuff to get the judges on the scorecards to sway his way. But it was a very close round one. It could have gone either way. Spann probably did more damage because Buchecha landed 4 significant strikes in round one. But yeah, I think you got to cut Marcus Buchecha from the UFC. He's not really. I don't think he's UFC level. I think he's really got to work on his striking, and then he can come back to the UFC because his grappling is quite good. But Ryan Spann is also a pretty good defensive grappler. But yeah, Ryan Spann gets it done. Ryan Spann's been on a run. I think you give him a ranked opponent next. Maybe give him a Marcin Tybura, somebody who's on their way out. Maybe give him a Mick Parkin to see if he gets fraud checked. Somebody inside the rankings like that. Maybe give him a Rakic because Rakic is moving up to heavyweight. But you might. They probably want to put Rakic against a ranked guy. They might do Rakic versus Tybura, but I don't know. Ryan Spann, it's probably ranked material in the heavyweight division. He's gotten a lot better. Good performance by Ryan Spann. I went crazy about this performance on live. I had a crazy reaction on the live stream. If you want to watch it back, it's on my channel. But yeah, Ryan Spann gets it done by knockout. We move on. Yes, sir. Raoni Barcelos with the classic split decision win. We are coming for the belt. We are marabbing our way up the division. Yeah, Unk gets it done via split decision. This was a very close fight. But, round one, Montel Jackson dominated him. It wasn't a 10-8, but, Montel Jackson gets the knockdown, swarmed him with punches. Unk is just plodding around out there. Yeah, Montel Jackson was absolutely schooling him on the feet in round one. I did say that Montel Jackson's not ranked material. I might take that back now. He does look improved from his performance against Deiveson Figueiredo, even though he did lose this one. He lost both of these by split decision, even though Deiveson Figueiredo clearly beat him. But Raoni Barcelos schooled him in the grappling. 6 takedowns out of 18. Montel Jackson did do a good job defending some of them, but once Raoni Barcelos got to the hips or he got a body lock, it was absolutely over in the grappling for Montel Jackson. Raoni Barcelos did try to choke him out. He almost got a one-armed rear naked choke at the end of round 2. And Montel Jackson was probably winning the round before that. So I think that's what got the judges to sway it in the way of Raoni Barcelos in round 2. But, Montel Jackson was damaging him more. in round 2 before that. But then Jaime Barcelos almost, choked him out with one arm, without grabbing the bicep, just one arm, almost rear naked choked Montel Jackson there. Yeah, he didn't. He did look very plotty in the striking. I'm worried for Jaime Barcelos once he gets a little bit up the division in the striking. Like a guy like Ayman Zahabi in the striking might, will school Jaime Barcelos in the striking. A guy like Ayman Zahabi. But at the same time, Ayman Zahabi doesn't really have that power, that Montel Jackson does. Montel Jackson had a huge reach advantage here as well, an 8.5-inch reach advantage at that. I think he has the biggest reach in the bantamweight division, So this was a tough test for Jaime Barcelos, and he passed it. 2 sub attempts right here. We talked about the one-arm rear naked choke, the knockdown from Montel Jackson. Montel Jackson did look very good on the feet. I do think he's ranked material. I think he's better than a guy like Kyler Phillips. It would be interesting to see a matchup like Montel Jackson versus Charles Jourdain. A guy that's decent on the feet like Montel Jackson and a little bit more willing to impose his will now, unlike he was against Davison Figueiredo. Against a guy like Charles Jourdain, who's very flashy on the feet, once he gets to the ground, he'll throw up submissions. He's very dangerous with the guillotine. He's got a good triangle choke, a good arm bar. Montel Jackson, he didn't look bad. Jaime Barcelos gets it done, though. I think you put Jaime Barcelos against somebody a little bit up the division, too. You could give Jaime Barcelos a Vinicius Oliveira or something like that. Vinicius Oliveira ranked number 12. You could give Jaime Barcelos a guy like that. I did think that they were going to do Bryce Mitchell versus a guy like Vinicius Oliveira because Bryce Mitchell definitely is ranked material in bantamweight. But, Bryce Mitchell, he's fighting a nobody. He's fighting Victor Henry. Victor Henry's the guy. He's fighting him June 6th on the Apex card. That's a really good Apex card on June 6th. Jaime Barcelos gets it done. Give him a high-ranked opponent next, probably number 12, Vinicius Oliveira. We move on. Oh my days, Davy Grant. We got this one wrong. The Crafty Unk pick. And it was right here. I should have picked Unk. He's 40 years old, but the man's 40 years of age, yeah? But he's still got so much finesse on the feet. And it's very interesting how he does it. Luna Martinetti, he did not look good in this fight. He looked, this guy, he looks like McLovin. I said that a bunch of times in my stream. I called him McLovin, so this might be this guy's new name on the channel. But, McLovin looked okay. He did look okay on the feet, but Davy Grant was schooling him. He was just moving around there, skip-stepping, throwing this weird flying oblique kick. Davy Grant, he's able to mix up the kicks. He was throwing the switch kick to the body. He was mixing it up quite well against Adrian Luna Martinetti on the feet. And Luna Martinetti, once he started brawling with him, I did get scared for Davy Grant. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to get chinned here. Because Luna Martinetti, he, in those brawling type of situations where he was able to rip to the body, get inside the pocket, he did look a lot more comfortable than he was in open space with Davy Grant, where Davy Grant could just, kind of move around at range and, kind of slither around and get those flying oblique kicks and pop the jab. Davy Grant, he outstruck Luna Martinetti and McLovin on significant strikes here, 162-99. He did put on a clinic. He put on a striking clinic here. But at the same time, a lot of these significant strikes were to the legs. He did catch Luna McLovin with 3 leg kicks in a row as he was pressuring him. And he was mixing it up well, mixing up his targets. Davy Grant, another classic performance. I don't know what's next for him because you've tried him against guys that are a little bit higher level, and he can't beat it. He's been getting chinned, but in this one, he looks a lot. He has looked a lot better in a lot of his other crafty performances that he's had recently. So I don't know who you give him. He's 40 years old, time's ticking, but he looked really good. 2 of his 164 strikes were insignificant. Only 2. That's really good. That's really good, but at the same time, a lot of them were to the legs. He did a good job defending McLovin's takedowns. Davy Grant gets it done. Another pick we got wrong. We move on. Rafa Garcia versus Alexander Hernandez. Our boy got schooled, bro. Rafa Garcia was putting it on Alexander Hernandez. This was probably a 30-27 here. This was probably a 30-27. Alpha Garcia was absolutely schooling him, knocking the blood clots out of his nose. He had Alexander Hernandez badly damaged, swollen eye. Good 1-2s, good jab. He was able to establish his range, even though he's a little bit less rangy for the lightweight division. The significant strikes numbers only say 59-50, but I do think that it was a lot more than that. The advantage was a lot more than that, I feel like, because Rafa Garcia, he was just like all of his strikes that landed were pretty much significant. Like except for when he got the takedowns and he had some little ground and pound moments, like he was throwing the little Strickland not turned over hooks against the cage. But I mean, yeah, he imposed his will in the grappling too, which I didn't expect from Rafa Garcia. Really good performance here from Rafa Garcia. You see, round 1, he kind of dominated, 2 takedowns, outlanded him on significant strikes here, 10-8. It was more than 10-8, by the way. Actually, no, in round 1 there was a little less activity on the feet. Round 2, 20-18. It was more than that. Round 2 for sure. He was dominating on the feet. In round 2, he started to separate himself. Round 3 is when he really pulled away. Once again, it's more than 29-24 on significant strikes, for sure. Rafa Garcia, he dominated way more than the numbers say. He's quite good. He's another one of these Ilia Topuria-sized lightweights who are small, but they're very good for lightweight. He's only I think 5'7", which is the same height as Topuria, but this is one of these. Obviously, I'm not going to try to compare Rafa Garcia to Ilia Topuria here, but there's levels to this. But I think Rafa Garcia, he's a solid outside the rankings lightweight. Don't give him a ranked shot. There are a lot of other guys that deserve it. Let him string a few more fights together. I know he's on a 3-fight win streak, but he's got to string a few more together before we think about boosting up the lightweight division. Rafa Garcia gets it done. We got this one wrong. We move on. Jocelyn Edwards versus Norma Dumont. Very boring co-main event, but Norma Dumont thought she got robbed, and she didn't. She didn't get robbed. Yeah, not at all. Jocelyn Edwards, she's the only one who did the damage in the 10-second moments of scrapping that they had during the fight. Jocelyn Edwards was winning the exchanges. She did have her chin up and looked very rigid, almost like a Daniel Rodriguez. In the striking exchanges, but she was getting the damage on Norma Dumont, and she was doing what she had to do to win the fight. She did win the fight for sure. Neither of them got takedowns, which I was very surprised with. There were moments where they held each other against the cage. I'll outline the takedown numbers here for you. Jocelyn Edwards had a reversal, and she looked good. She looked like a good bantamweight. She's having a rebirth of her career. She's going to be ranked number 3 by Monday or Tuesday. What? What's the question? Jocelyn Edwards? Oh, she'll be ranked by Tuesday, kid. Okay, had to rip out the Dana impression there. But yeah, I mean, Jocelyn Edwards, she looks good. She looks like a good bantamweight. I'll actually be interested because she's entertaining. Like Norma Dumont was just kind of like slithering around at distance, popping a leg kick and trying to pop a jab every here and there. She was like trying to McGregor max, but she wasn't doing very good at it. She should have stuck to the grappling if she wanted to win the fight. Jocelyn Edwards, she looked very good on the feet. She did look very good on the feet. She was trying to impose her will. She was trying to brawl with Norma Dumont, and she was winning the exchanges. So I think 30-27, maybe 29-28 if you want to be nice to Norma Dumont. Maybe Norma Dumont won round 1. I did say that Norma Dumont won round 1, but now looking at the strike note, I don't know. It says 37-14 on total strikes, but it's tied in significant strikes. And I felt like Norma Dumont won round 1. But anyways, clear-cut 29-28, maybe a 30-27 for Jocelyn Edwards. Norma Dumont did not get robbed, so don't even say that. Yeah, Jocelyn Edwards gets it done. We got this one right. This was an underdog pick. We move on to the main event. Aljo versus Yusuf Zalal. Aljo won this one. Classic Aljo dominant performance. In round 4, it was a 10-8, so 49-45. We did get this one right, though. We said 49-46 because we thought that it was going to be a 4-1. And I said either 48-47 or a clear-cut 49-46. And Aljo did dominate one of the rounds. He had a 10-8 in round 4. Yusuf Zalal was like basically crying because Aljo had a rear naked choke that was like around the arm, so it like wasn't really in, and Yusuf Zalal was just trying to dog it out, and all the veins were popping in Yusuf Zalal's head. So Aljo was absolutely dominating him on the ground. And then at the end of the round, they got up to the feet, and Aljo looked like he was almost going to TKO Zalal. He was teeing off on him against the fence, landed a bunch of these big meaty hooks, all of these big overhands. He was big meaty hooks. Yeah, Aljo, yeah. Yeah, had to get my Lucas Tracy impression out there, but yeah, this was the really good round from Aljo. Round 1, you can make an argument that Yusuf Zalal won round 1, but I don't think he did. I think Aljo had the better moments, even though Yusuf Zalal was catching him with the jab. He did look rangy, he had some decent striking. Aljo's a very big reach. Aljo's a 71-inch reach. I forgot how rangy Aljo actually is. I remember that in when he fought in bantamweight, but yeah, he's very rangy, very strong when he gets a hold of you. I thought Aljo won round 1, very close round though. Round 2, Aljo won this round, dominated on the ground with the one takedown that he got, 67-16 on total strikes. It's the same in significant strikes for some reason, but I don't agree with that. Round 3, Zalal won. This was the round that Zalal won because he almost subbed Aljo with the guillotine, jumped on his neck. Very good guillotine from Yusuf Zalal, by the way. I knew he was dangerous on the ground. Almost finished Aljo with the guillotine, by the way. That guillotine was in. He had the guard locked, and then Aljo dogged it out. Ran his hips to the side of his body, and he got out of it. And then Yusuf Zalal pretty much just stayed for the rest of the round on top position. And I think Yusuf Zalal won that round. Round 4, we already talked about this. Aljo almost finished him here. A very dominant round from Aljo. Round 5, more of the same. Zalal had some moments at the beginning of the round trying to jab him up. He landed a good 1-2 on Aljo's chin. And then Aljo just got a hold of him, took him down, and they stayed in the, and then he got a body triangle in like the last minute and a half of the round. Zalal did a good job with his jiu-jitsu defense and dogging out a lot of submissions that Aljo was throwing at him. And as we predicted, 4-1 for Aljo. I think there was a moment in like after round 3 where I don't think Aljo wanted to listen to Merab's yapping in the corner anymore. Bro, you have to get takedowns. Bro, you have to get more takedowns. We gotta win these fights. So I think that Aljo probably got sick of Merab's yapping in the corner, and then after round 4, the Goblin Rage got implemented into him, and then he started taking down Zalal, almost submitting him, almost finishing him, beating him up on the feet. Very dominant performance from Aljo. I think that, if Volk doesn't want to retire after Evloev, you could give Volk Aljo. Aljo, he kind of deserves the title shot. Maybe after Kevin Vallejos, if you put him against Lerone Murphy, Kevin Vallejos might beat Lerone Murphy. He would deserve the title shot. If Kevin Vallejos beats Lerone Murphy, he would deserve the title shot over Aljo, and he'd be higher ranked, and he'd beat higher level opponents. But I do think that Aljo, he had a very close fight with Mavsar. I think Mavsar barely beat him. It would be interesting to see Aljo versus Volk, though. I'd say that's stylistically a more interesting fight than Volk versus Evloev. But after Volk beats Mavsar, if he doesn't want to retire, throw him against Aljo. And if he beats Aljo and then he doesn't want to retire, then maybe you can threaten him with a Vallejos or a Gene Silva. But anyways, that's my recap of the card. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.